Fort Smith Fire Brigade. The ravens are as large and as loud as babies. They are public tantrums for food that is dropped in the dirt. In the town parks and the hydrants, they are wood left over from a catastrophic fire, a black that gulps daylight and holds it like a rain barrel, a locked and scorched water. They are ambassadors from the other side of what has burned. Laughter that reverberates at the end of language rises up its feathers of thinking smoke. They treat the things we build as furniture. The gas pumps, the stop signs, or slouching galleries are the relaxed mess of a building they know they can leave. A raven is the child that leaps into your throat when branches have fallen in the street. It is the part of you that grows younger when first you realize at night how well the dark takes up residence among the open, leafless stars. Interpolation. What is disappointing about the river is that even where it narrows to slip over the thin shelf of rocks and slacken in the calm bulged bay at the bottom, it doesn't seem to be listening. Even now the stiff groan of the poplars, the killdeers that flick their songs like bottle caps that skip among the uneven boulders, pay some attention to each other, announce their cacophony as one. But the river heaves its static down in overzealous gulps, in the stridency of a boy who chews his food open-mouthed, a child perpetually on the verge of walking, that doesn't know to stand and move its feet, only that a lower place will bear its weight, and so the body simply falls. There is no conversation to be had, no rational coming to terms. There is only the chance of a well-placed surprise, of a face or a gesture that grabs its attention, of a kindness perhaps, to which it might be inclined to pause and come crawling back up. Believing the first words you hear. When the axe jams in the log, it is memory reaching to pull you in. Cherry is the easiest wood to split. Its grains are straight paved roads. Maple makes me think of you. It grows branches as though committing to entirely new trees. I think of the axe handle, alive in my hands. I think of the leaves. Eastern Hardwoods. By the beginning of November, the forest is a cabinet of rifles. Between the barrels, your footsteps ricochet, and the way you've come ticks blindly around you, an engine that stopped in the cold. What has left comes again to leave. Your first dog, whose hips became the softened middle of waterlogged oaks, wandering once more to these woods, his head an Indian summer, a last smoked thinking. Her voice on the phone says goodbye, strained through the black cherry spines, its timbre here again in the wire, in the grey alloy of being alone. You ache for snow in the hardwoods, for the way it proposes bones. It takes some time to believe that the last of the crows do not simply explode from the trees. Cedar Canvas. There is something in the way canoes come from a carpenter's mind. The weight of an acuity played out in the planing. The emergence is monkish, is already a thoroughly conceived community. When the carpenter thinks, he is running through branches back into the wood, reversing the carving, moving as something both ripened and green. When the ribs are steamed, the wood is bent back again as a sapling, the soft plates of its bones denatured, turned by the carpenter into barrel chests, into the diaphragm of a man who has spent a lifetime laughing high in the mountains at the abject beginnings of rivers. The carpenter laughs in his hands. You can see it balled there in blisters. You can see that the splinters go into him with alacrity, with the pleasure and rhythm of song. And when he turns to you in the saw shed where you are a boy let loose for the first time with hammers, and gets you to sand down the gunnels, you take your biggest breaths. You slip into the wood as a man shoves away from the shore. Cartographer. Without you, I have taken to drawing maps on the backs of photographs. On the coast in a raincoat, your smile has been dented by a lake. The fluting arms of rivers have made your shoulders look like the bark of birches. In Saskatchewan, the contours tightened. Cliffs gave way under your breastbone. Thin roads held gravely to your hips, and pressing firmly, the sky became an overturned train with its freight the black of clouded hills. I have held back ponds with beaver dams, even marked the dashes of higher seasons. In a black and white series of us at Wymarsh, the hair has blown into your eyes. It is as if you see the choke of sticks between us, the wetland that swells the other side. Even then you sensed that my hand was unsteady as it gathered your hair from behind.